Okay, guys, stop mixing your masters. Okay, so what do I mean by stop mixing your masters? So generally what happens is you got your song recorded, then you mix it, and it gets sounding really good, and it's finished. And then what you do is you bounce it down into a 2-track, and you re-import it back into your Pro Tools or your whatever DAW you're using, and then you start the mastering process. So right there is a red flag. Okay, let me tell you that mixing and mastering are completely different things. And if you go straight from mix to mastering, your mind is not in the right place. So let me tell you what I mean. Balance, dynamics, and playback ability is what mastering is really all about. You could have a poorly recorded and a poorly mixed song, and it would still sound good. It could be a hit. You know, people would just love the song, but the recording is just not good, but they still love the song. And if it's mastered well, it can play back on the radio just fine, and people will just completely love it. Okay? But the key being is that was sent to a mastering engineer with a totally different mindset. And that mindset is to make sure that it plays back the best that it can on a variety of music systems or playback devices or streaming services or whatever. And streaming services, by the way, can get very confusing on what you should do with your final master. But the way we achieve playback ability is through using the same tools that you use in mixing, such as EQ, compression, limiting, even saturation, so on and so on. In my description, there is a link to a PDF that gives you my go-to frequencies. Okay, I use these same frequencies as a starting point pretty much every time. It just speeds up my whole entire process for mastering. Doesn't matter what the track is. And as well in there, even more important, is a PDF of the 2-track mastering processes. So you have stereo processing, mid-side processing, left and right processing. Knowing what those mean and how you can use them to your benefit is probably the most important thing in mastering. When I go to master a track, it's not about bass guitar, kick, vocal. It is and it isn't, okay? But let's use this song as an example. Not the best recorded, not the best mixed, but a pretty decent sounding. Let's just play it back and just have a listen to it, and don't think about, having the whole session in your DAW and being able to adjust certain things of what you would do EQ wise. Don't think about that stuff at all. Just think about how it sounds on your speakers. Think about how it would sound on other speakers that you own, such as in your car, or such as playing off of your phone or your home theater system. Think about the playback ability of this track. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. When we first played that track back, it sounded pretty decent. a little bit light, a little bit thin, not quite enough bass impact, I guess you could say, like the low end impact. I don't mean bass guitar, I just mean low end in general. But then when it got to the guitar part where the guitars came in, everything was kind of loud and it's supposed to be that hurrah moment. Everything kind of felt dull and fatiguing. And this is where you need to listen to your speakers and turn it up a little bit and ask yourself, could you listen to this over and over and over, even for the full song, without getting tired? You know, if the whole album sounds like this, could you listen to a whole album like this? And that's usually what I ask myself. And in this song, I definitely cannot sit and listen at a loud volume to a whole album like this. So that's kind of the first thing with this song that I would want to address, is that there's a harshness in the guitars. Now, it's not a matter of turning guitars up or down, but it's a matter of using EQ to carve out certain frequencies that are just poking out way too much. So you have to use your ears and play with the EQ to figure this out. Using a analyzer can sometimes help, but there's just too much information going on, especially in a full mix like this. So I'll bring up iZotope Analyzer. Again, those that know me and watch my videos know that I love using iZotope products. I've been using them for years and years and years. I've grown very accustomed to how the UI works and to how they sound, and it's just phenomenal. Anyways, let's play back this track again. Let's go to that heavier part. So it still sounds fatiguing, and on the spectrum analyzer, you can't really see much. You know, it doesn't tell you a whole lot. It just tells you there's a bunch of noise going on there. I'm going to change my options here, and let's turn this up. 5 seconds should be good enough. Let's play it back again. Walk away, walk away, walk away. So you can see a bit of a build here, a little tiny hump about right there that we can probably address. But again, it's just not going to play back the greatest for long periods of time and high levels. So that would need to be addressed. Okay, it's not just a matter of throw a bunch of EQs on it and away you go. We need to analyze the tracks properly. The next thing I want to do is put a mid-side EQ on. And again, I'm using iZotope Equalizer. Okay, here we are. And we're going to put it in mid-side mode. And we're just going to listen to the side information of this track. Okay, so it's in solo. So all we're going to hear is the side information. And once again, download my PDF. It's in the description below. It gives you full definitions of everything. Walk away, walk away, walk away. Alright, it just sounds confusing. There's just like when you listen to that your ears feel weird, like they're being pressured. And that tells me that there's something in the low end going on in the side information only that shouldn't be there. Otherwise, it's going to conflict with everything in the mid area. So let's listen again. So you can definitely see it on the meter. However, you can hear it more than anything. So let's carve it out. And I'm just picking a number out of thin air, and let's just listen to it back. Instantly more comfortable to listen to, okay? Now I'm going to take that EQ move out of there and put it back in while it's playing so you can actually hear what's going on. It's almost like a sigh of relief when you bring that EQ in. And then in the mix, it's not going to be near as noticeable, and definitely not noticeable if you're just listening to this through YouTube on your cell phone or something like that. You need headphones, studio monitors, something that actually you can hear things. But let's play back the whole track. I'll do a quick bypass. Yeah, so easily in the kick area, you can hear everything kind of just almost tighten up. Just clarity just kind of comes through a little bit better, and it just sounds like it's going to play back better on various different types of audio systems. I don't want to get too much into EQ. I have other videos for that, but I wanted to bring this to your attention at the mindset that a mastering engineer goes through when he's listening to a track, preparing it for mastering. It's just not as simple as mix it down, bring it back in as a 2-track, and throw a bunch of processing onto it. There's a lot more that goes into it. And also the fact that the mastering engineer has never heard it before, has never done anything to it. It doesn't know. The mastering engineer doesn't know what moves that you have done or made to make it sound the way it sounds now. Okay? So only an unbiased ear is the best way, or a good amount of time set in between before mastering. We're talking weeks, maybe even months before you go back to that track and master it. Anyways, guys, again, download my Mastering Jumpstart Guide in the description down below. You can't miss it. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel. Tons of content coming. And we'll see you next time.